When that final
Well, Mother Nature would not cooperate in Bristol, Tennessee for the Braves and Reds. Tariq Skubal and the Tigers got the better of Zack Wheeler and the Philadelphia Phillies. MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, and we are underway.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
And welcome in, everyone. He is Lindsay Crosby, host of the Locked On Braves postcast. You can follow Lindsay on the X at Crosby Baseball. I'm Steve Lenox, host of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. You can follow me on the X at Lenox on Baseball. Lindsay, Brewers pick up a game on the Cubs in the NL Central. Marlins, once again, get a little closer to that 500 mark as they shut out the Yankees on Saturday. And the White Sox needed just one. They needed just one run to beat the Angels in Anaheim. MLB Game Night, every game, every night. We are presented by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. Use promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off on your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion-flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. Lindsay, we're going to start off with your Braves. And, man, I wish they got this one in. But I am looking forward to sitting down Sunday afternoon, suspend a game. Braves, Reds, we can argue probably for the entire show to say they should not have gotten it underway, but they did. I thought the Braves did an interesting thing. Spencer Strider, they pushed him back, and they went with the bullpen, and they're going to have to use the bullpen, or maybe they use Strider on Sunday. Your thoughts?
Well, the Braves did the other thing on this a couple weeks ago. I think they're playing the Phillies. They had a long rain delay. They left their starter out there, and he got shelled. So they decided bullpen game. They don't even finish the first inning before the game has to be stopped again for rain and made up tomorrow. But I'm curious to see, do they try to bring back Spencer Strider and let him actually make the normal kind of start, or do they just go with the bullpen game? Because I believe they can make a roster move. They can take the pitcher who started the game, Austin Cox, and send him down. But thought process is, if it's a normal season for the Braves, they're starting Strider. Given the situation here with it's a lost season, he's coming off of elbow surgery. The big question is, do they bring him back on Sunday and let him get the actual start or not?
As you saw it, we just saw images and some video, but as the game was on Fox Saturday night from the Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee, what were your thoughts of the images and just kind of taking everything in via the television?
Awesome. Like, it looked really cool. I mean, it looked really exciting. All of the different thematic effects, they did just enough to make this distinct without going over the top, right? Like the hat's a little bit jokey, the uniform's a little bit jokey, but all in all, like, it was really cool. And, it would have been great to actually play the game. I do think the big error there was starting the game, especially at the bottom half of the inning. Rain really started coming down, and it caused some defensive issues for Atlanta. And so because of that, Cincinnati's on the board. It's going to be 1-0 with runners on tomorrow when they resume. But all in all, I think this is a pretty cool thing. While it didn't work out because of Mother Nature, it's still it's not for lack of trying. MLB really put a lot into just making this thing unique, yet still kind of cool.
Your final thought, what kind of crowd do you anticipate Sunday?
I really wonder how many people are still going to be there. I'd like to think a lot of people were staying overnight and going to leave the next morning because the game was going to end at 10, 11 p.m. Right. But it is supposed to rain a little bit in the morning too. So we'll see what happens here. And I don't think it's going to be nearly as big as they thought. I don't know if the official crowd is what was there today or what's there tomorrow for them trying to break the record, but it won't be 85,000 people tomorrow.
Braves and Reds, their series will wrap up Sunday. Again, Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. The series even at 1 game apiece. With the Reds, we stay in the NL Central, Lindsay. Brewers, Nationals in D.C. Game 2 of their 3-game series on Saturday. Brewers, big bats on Friday in the opener. Chuck Freeman, he tells us now with a 2-0 lead in the series, Brewers have it right on the table to sweep the series in our nation's capital on Sunday.
the Brewers just keep losing players. They don't make any deals really at the All-Star break, and they just keep rolling along. Hey, everybody, Chuck Freeman, instant reaction, Locked On Brewers. Yeah, a couple of days after the trading deadline, we see some teams out there that went all in and all that, and they're struggling. Meanwhile, the Brewers are just destroying the Nats in these 2 games. Brandon Woodruff, great again. Christian Yelich, man. The heart of the order is just really picking things up as of late. And this team has just been a machine. How often can you say that about the Milwaukee Brewers in days gone by? But now you got to sweep this series, man. You got to keep pounding these bad teams, these depleted teams. And they got to do the same thing with Atlanta next week. But take care of business. The Miz on the mound on Sunday. We'll talk to you late Sunday night with the next edition of Locked On Brewers. Please subscribe.
Lindsay, get your thoughts on Brandon Woodruff in just a moment. The injury that Chuck was referring to, he mentioned Jackson Chourio out for a while on Friday, on Friday's show. Sam Frelick left the game, precautionary, but left the game with left knee soreness. He's already been on the IL once this year. The way he plays, he's just going to be on an IL stint every, at least once a season. You want him healthy, September, October, great defender in the outfield. But Brandon Woodruff is really writing a terrific story, returning, and they just don't lose when he takes the ball.
7 earned runs in 28 1/3 innings since he came back. I mean, he missed a lot of time, but obviously they did and this is just my context here. They did like the Braves did with Ronald Acuna Jr. They took it incredibly conservatively. They give him so much extra time where he's not still trying to get himself into playing shape. He is back. 4 walks to 37 strikeouts in 28 1/3 innings. This is the Brandon Woodruff that we knew of when we talked about the big 2 of Corbin Burnes and Brandon Woodruff in Milwaukee, and they handled this well. Their hope has to be that the big offense continues tomorrow so that Jacob Misiorowski does not need to go too deep, because they're already discussing the innings he's pitched this year, how he's already at a career high.
Yeah. Chuck, again, mentioning the offense. Brewers 5-0 when Woodruff starts. Christian Yelich, 3 hits, home run, 2 RBIs. Bryce Terang, 3 hits, couple of doubles, RBI. Isaac Collins, 2 hits, and 2 runs batted in. So Milwaukee able to pick up a game on the Cubs in the NL Central. The Cubs, a tough loss.
Oof.
That series at Wrigley Field with the Orioles now even at 1 game apiece. Our guy, Sam Olber, Locked On Cubs. Lindsay, Sam, valid point right off the top.
Acceptable is the word. Doesn't matter whose fault it is. Doesn't matter if, hey, Caleb Thielbar has been really good, so you got to give him a break. Doesn't matter any of it. It's unacceptable at this point in the season. I'm Sam Olber from the Locked On Cubs podcast. Cubs led 3-0 going into the 8th. It felt like they were up 7-0. Orioles weren't doing anything. Wind was blowing in. This pitching staff is really good for the most part at taking advantage of that, and it all crumbled in the 8th inning. Brazier gave up a couple, and then Caleb Thielbar made a mistake to Gunnar Henderson, who had a 3-run home run. Look, Cubs didn't make a lot of impact moves at the trade deadline, and it felt like they became much closer to the pack at the top of the National League, meaning, the Dodgers are probably better than them. This Padres roster is good. The Mets improved, the Phillies, and we know about Milwaukee. So the one thing you have to do is win the games you're supposed to, and this was unacceptable. And these losses, it's not April anymore. You're in a pennant race, you're in a division race, you can't lose these type of games. Offensively, they didn't do much. The wind didn't help, but they're just not getting much right now out of the middle of that lineup, particularly from Tucker and Suzuki. They probably should have scored more runs than they did. Thielbar had his first really, really bad outing in a long time, but it doesn't matter. None of that matters. All that matters is you lost a game that you were supposed to win against an inferior opponent, and you don't have many of those left that you can have.
All those runs with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Like, that's the part that kills you. Is you were so close, and it's like they had a guy get on, or 2 guys get on early, and then got 2 outs. So they had multiple chances to put it away and just couldn't quite do it, and that's a killer.
We've had Sam all season long. Does a great job, Locked On Cubs. We know the tone of his voice, and right there, I got a sense of like, hey, we're an NL wildcard team.
Yeah.
Right? We're looking up at the Brewers right now. We're going to be looking up at them the rest of the way. I don't necessarily believe that, but Sam's tone was a little different than it was, June and certainly into July.
I mean, the Cubs have been a little bit cold recently, but the Brewers are 17-4 in their last 21 games. Like, it almost doesn't matter what Chicago does, because Milwaukee is just running away. I mean, it's only I think it's now a 2-game lead. It's not like they haven't actually run away with it. But at this rate, you have to start thinking about the wild card. And I think some of this is the frustration of the way this game ended, plus not doing much to supplement at the deadline. So Sam probably feeling like the issues they were having are multiplying at the worst possible time. I still think they're a pretty decent team. They're probably the third or fourth best team in the National League. But he's right. They've got to get more out of the heart of the order, and you've got to be able to lock down the back end, especially if you're not going to go out and add a bunch of relievers at the deadline like the Padres did, like the Mets did. The guys who are there have to step up.
And speaking of relievers, Baltimore relievers, they took the lead in the 8th inning, didn't give it back. 4 relievers, each working a scoreless inning. Keegan Aiken, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in the 9th inning, picked up the save his first. Struck out P. Crow Armstrong to end it. P. Crow Armstrong coming back to earth a little bit. 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts. You want to be an MVP consideration. It's one thing before the All-Star break, but this is really rest of this month of August, September, this is where you try to carry a team if you're in the MVP conversation. I wonder if he's starting to feel it a little bit as well.
It's only natural to have a little bit of that pressure. I do think that people who look at PCA and say, oh yeah, his numbers are great. I think we forget the voters are human. When we talk about Heisman moments in football for a reason, right? Like your numbers are comparable to somebody else's, but you have that noteworthy performance late, and that cements your Heisman trophy. This is the time in baseball where you need to have a hot 2 weeks, a hot month, where you just go nuclear, carry your team to whatever end goal is going to be, and win the award because of it. And it's one of the reasons why I keep going back to the same team, but in the National League, Drake Baldwin versus Jacob Mizorowski for Rookie of the Year. Baldwin's the favorite, the betting favorite, but Mizorowski's the one making the moments with the All-Star game appearance and all that kind of stuff.
Final game to recap, segment number 1, MLB Game Night, every game, every night. Rangers, I think you can call it a much-needed win. 6-4 win in 11. Randy Arozarena tied the game at 4, 2-run home run for the Mariners at home in Seattle in the bottom of the 10th inning. Wyatt Langford, Ezekiel Duran, RBI base hits in the top of the 11th inning. Rangers win at 6-4, still down 2-1 in the series, but now on Sunday they have an opportunity to split this series in Seattle. Give you one here, Cal Raleigh. Mentioned P. Crow Armstrong. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts.
Ooh, even worse than PCA's 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. The big thing for this Texas's offense has struggled all year. We talked about that last night. But you look at the bottom of the order here. Wyatt Langford batting 6th goes 2 for 5. Rowdy Tellez goes 2 for 4 with a run scored. Ezekiel Duran comes in later for him and gets a hit and a run too. Kawagashioka 2 for 4. Alberto Ozuna goes 1 for 2. Like they get performances from everybody at the bottom. And it means that, your top 4 combined for 2 total hits, but you can still win the game because you're keeping the line moving. You're getting the runs from an unexpected source. And that's the thing that Texas has not had all year until really this game is the bottom of the order producing.
Tariq Skubal notches 11th win of the season on Saturday in Philadelphia. Skubal and the Tigers getting better of Zack Wheeler and the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got the details. Next, it's MLB Game Night.
It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Because let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. And golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape, ginger, lime flavor gives you the best part of your clubhouse go-to without needing to chase down the beverage cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use the network's promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. Now, this offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and can't be used with other promotions. Code's also not good on subscription orders. But whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today.
Well, right now in the NL East, the Phillies and Mets are going back and forth going into Sunday. The Mets are going to have a half-game lead in the NL East over the Fightin' Phils. Tariq Skubal, double-digit strikeouts, earned his 11th win on the season against Zack Wheeler. Skubal pitched better than Wheeler in this one, and the Tigers get the better of the Phillies, Lindsay, as they hit 4 home runs, 3 of those off Zack Wheeler, and win Game 2 7-5. We got reaction on the Phillies side. Mark Farzetta, Locked on Phillies. Yeah, Mark also tipping his cap to Tariq Skubal.
Wheeler versus Skubal matchup. You don't think of a 7-5 game, but yet that's the way it went down Saturday in South Philadelphia, with the Phillies, unfortunately, taking a 7-5 loss to Skubal and the Tigers. Skubal was amazing through 6 innings of work where he allowed no runs and struck out 10 and needed just 71 pitches to get through his first 6 innings. But in the 7th, the Phillies finally got to him. Took him for 3 runs, including a 2-run home run by Nick Castellanos. Zack Wheeler, on the other hand, not his day. He gave up 3 home runs in this one, allowed 4 runs in total, 3 of them earned, and also allowed 9 hits through 6+ innings of work. Phillies look to pick up the pieces on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, with Christopher Sanchez taking the ball, looking to bounce back from a rough start against the White Sox. He'll take the ball against the brief and former Philly Charlie Morton.
And looking forward to that matchup on Sunday. Morton debuting just over in the trade at the deadline, and he'll start for the Tigers, and they're going to need strong performances from Morton.
I feel like whenever you have a pitcher going to a new team at the deadline, a starter, they're either amazing or they're terrible, and there's no middle ground. We've seen Morton do both this year. We saw him be terrible early in the year. One quick note on this game, though. I'm curious. I need to throw up the Sarah Lang's bat signal. I'm curious the last time 2 starters combined for 20 or more strikeouts, both hitting double digits with no walks issued by either guy. Feels like that doesn't happen a lot. And I'm really glad that this was an early game, so we had a chance to watch this instead of it being at the same time as a couple other games buried in like a 9 o'clock slot or something.
Kyle Finnegan got the final 4 outs over from the Nationals to the Tigers at the deadline. He picked up the save in his Detroit debut as well. Again, Sunday Night Baseball in Philadelphia, Tigers, Phillies, Sunday night, Charlie Morton debuting for the Tigers. And Christopher Sanchez, as Mark mentioned, rough outing last time against the White Sox, looking to rebound. And the Phillies trying to take 2 of 3 in that series. Phillies lose, Mets win, beat the Giants. Snap a 4-game losing streak with a 12-6 victory. So the Mets now back a half game up in the division. Brandon Nimmo, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Francisco Lindor, 3 hits, 4 RBIs. Pete Alonso, 3-run home run in the first inning. Hey, the guys at the top of the lineup, and the guys are paying a lot of money, Lindsay, for the Mets right now. Might be a small sample size over the last couple of games, but they're producing as they should.
I don't think it's a coincidence that the top of the order combined, Nimmo had 3, Lindor had 3, Alonso hit the 3-run homer in the first, and they snapped a losing streak. I don't think that's a coincidence. Do want to point out, great note by you, Pete Alonso is 2 homers away from tying Darryl Strawberry for the Mets all-time record, despite having played 150 less games than Darryl Strawberry. So the pace is better, but again, he's 2 away. He could theoretically get 2 of them off of Carson Whisenhunt tomorrow. We'll see if he does it tomorrow, because I believe they're on the road next week. I'm curious if he can do it at home or not.
Yeah. Raise your hand if you had the Darryl Strawberry posters up on your walls growing up as a kid on Eastern Long Island. Yeah, I got
Dale Murphy over here.
There you go. Hey, I had Murph too. I did because, growing up, we go all day on this one too. Braves, Dale Murphy, TBS. That's when I fell in love with baseball. Superstation.
Mm-hmm.
Miss it. Let's just welcome in Jeremiah Geiger right off the top. Marlins win again. They've taken the first 2 games of the series against the Yankees. They're now within a game of 500. Here's Jeremiah at Locked On Marlins.
Marlins are playing baseball. It's Jeremiah Geiger from the Locked On Marlins podcast. This team has won 6 straight series. They're a game back of 500. They've stormed all the way back in their last 45 games. They're 30-15, and they shut out the Yankees on Saturday. Yuri Perez was brilliant. 6 shutout innings, only 2 hits. Augustin Ramirez torched his former organization. He hit a bomb in the first inning, and then later in the 4th, the Marlins win the game 2-0. They're going for the sweep of the Yankees tomorrow, and if they win, they're going to be 500. This team is still alive in the wild card race. I don't care what anyone says. Let's go Fish.
We're going to hear from Jay Berman, Locked On Yankees postcast, in just a moment here. But I mean, this is outstanding. It really is. I love it. 36,000. Now, yes, Yankee fans in South Florida, of course.
Yep.
But I'm really hoping. I might put the audio on tomorrow. I'm really hoping that it may not be 50-50, but I hope the Marlin fans are out there and supporting this team right now, because this is a glimpse of their future.
I mean,
and a tip of the cap to the front office and across the board, McCullough and the players as well.
Peter Bendix. They brought in Peter Bendix from the Rays, and he immediately got to work on all these deals. And again, I keep talking about this revenge game. Augustin Ramirez, his old squad, pops 2 homers. That the revenge games are a thing, and this is proof of that right there. So,
and what's with the Yankees? I don't know if they're not taking the right catchers, but I mean, you got Narvaez with the Red Sox, you've got Ramirez with the Marlins, and I don't know what the returns were, but they're not great. I mean, the pitching prospect that the Yankees got back for Narvaez could be something down the road. But, geez, they've given up a lot of catching talent here in the last couple of years.
They can really build catching talent, but the difference in them and Milwaukee has catcher devil magic. But the difference is New York's catchers aren't that fantastic defensively, so they move these guys before they have a chance to get there. Like they hit really well, they ship them out. The one they kept, Austin Wells, is the best defensively of all of them they've moved. But, like, that's kind of the thing here. And it's a theme with the Yankees. They're just not a very good defensive team. They're not very good on the base paths. And I think you've seen a lot of that in this series.
Yeah, Luis Gil's going to make his season debut for the Yankees in the finale on Sunday. Let's hear from Jay Berman, get the Yankee side. And if Jay doesn't touch on it, we're going to briefly touch on Jazz Chisholm on the other side. Jay Berman, Locked On Yankees postcast.
Now 0 for 2 coming out of the trade deadline. An embarrassing loss Friday night. More of the same on Saturday afternoon. Marlins beat the Yankees 2-0. Augustin Ramirez, not 1 but 2 solo shots. To make matters worse, folks, he's a former Yankee prospect. As for the Yankees offense, not much of it. 1 single, 1 double. 2 Yankees touched second base the entire afternoon. In fact, the final 14 Yankees went down in order. Yanks are now 11-16 all-time in Miami. That includes 5 walk-off losses, the 5th being Friday night. Cam Schlittler allowed both home runs to Ramirez, but it wasn't terrible. 5 innings, 2 earned. He does, however, take the loss. Yanks will try and avoid the sweep on Sunday. Luis Gil makes his 2025 debut, and then they're off to Texas for 3 with the Rangers. Again, 2-0 the final score today.
Jazz Chisholm, don't know if you saw it or not, but Aaron Boone basically coming to another player's aid. And I saw it on X at one point. Boone animated and going at first base coach Travis Chapman. Chisholm a couple of feet off the bag, pop up to second base, thought maybe the second baseman, his side of it was he thought the second baseman might drop it on purpose and get the force out at second. Instead, a double play. Unacceptable base running, unacceptable baseball of late for the Yankees. They deserve to be down 0-2 in this series.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because you don't think of the Yankees as being a team that should be bad at the little things about baseball. And I guess maybe I'm clouded by my childhood of watching the Derek Jeter Yankees with all of those guys. But like, I mean, he's doubled off on a pop-up to second base. It's not even like it was an amazing play. It was a pop-up to second, and you got doubled off. And it's just, we saw this in the World Series, right? That 5th inning, they were dreadful. And that is who they are. And until they fix that, they're never going to get back and win a World Series.
All right, let's do a 90-second.
Be bold right there on that.
Let's do a 90-second drill right here. We've got 3 games. You take Royals, Blue Jays. I'll follow up, stay in the AL East with the Red Sox and Astros from Saturday.
Yep. So Royals tied the series up. I'm sorry, Blue Jays tied the series up against the Royals with a 4-2 win. Max Scherzer, 2nd win on the year, 1 earned in 6 innings. Did give up a 2-out solo shot to Salvador Perez. His 20th. Salvi now has the record for the most, the Royals record for the most 20 homer seasons. His very first home run of his career was off of Max Scherzer when Scherzer was a Tiger. But The Royals side, Bobby Witt, Vinny P, Michael Garcia, they combined to go over 12, and then they lost Jonathan India on a hit by pitch in the third inning. He came out in the fifth. So Sunday, we'll see what happens. It's the finale. It'll decide the series. Seth Lugo versus Chris Bassett.
2 more to go. I got Astros, Red Sox. Lindsay's going to give you Dodgers, Rays from Tampa, Florida on Saturday. Red Sox won their 4th in a row at Fenway on Saturday. 7-3 win over the Astros. With the win, they clinched the series win. Now, season night, 10 games over 500 for Alex Cora and the Red Sox. Romy Gonzalez, Trevor Story, Abraham Toro, all hitting home runs in the win. Red Sox are now 17-1 this season when Trevor Story goes yard. The bullpen got the final 14 outs. Jordan Hicks loaded up the bases in the 8th inning, struck out Carlos Correa to strand the bases loaded. Astros 2 for 17 runners in scoring position over the first 2 games of this series, Lindsay, and they've left 21 runners on base. Aroldis Chapman did have to come in for Jorge Alcala in the 9th inning, got the final 2 outs for the save, his 20th on the year.
Yep. Framber Valdez goes tomorrow versus Lucas Giolito. That's going to be fun. Dodgers at Rays. Dodgers got the shutout on Friday. Rays get it on Saturday, 4-0. Drew Rasmussen and 3 relievers combined. It's their 9th shutout. 6 hits allowed by the Rays pitchers. All of them were singles. No walks allowed by the entire Rays team. 11 strikeouts. They tagged Blake Snell for 3 runs and 2 homers in Snell's 5 innings in his first start since coming back in April. Junior Caminero went deep. Yandy Diaz back in the game. He went deep twice, actually. So there you go, because he had left because of injury. And this is one. Mookie Betts goes 0 for 4. Ohtani goes 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Really kind of tough. But Sunday, Yamamoto versus Joe Boyle. Always been a Joe Boyle fan. Both these guys throw hard. That's going to be a fun matchup.
Well, in case you haven't been paying attention to the White Sox, they're playing winning baseball since the All-Star break, and they had a 1-0 victory against the Angels on Saturday to go up to pick up the victory on Saturday in Game 2 of that series. We'll have the details next. It's MLB Game Night.
Today's episode is brought to you by Game Day Hue, and so is this hat I'm wearing. For Braves fans like me, this one hits the mark because Game Day Hue makes clean, no logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. I've worn mine to tailgates. I've worn mine to tee times. Worn mine just out running errands. I keep a white one stashed in the Jeep at all times. I always get compliments. It's the kind of hat that reps your team without screaming it. Subtle, but still says everything. And it's not just hats. Check out their split shade gloves made for the golf course. It's the perfect gift for the fan who has everything. Right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GameDayHue.com. That's GameDayHue, HUE.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals. So now is the time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. That's GameDayHue.com, code MLB15.
Every game, every night. We continue with segment number 3, Pirates Rockies at Coors Field on Saturday. Rockies jumped out to a 4-0 lead, or rather, they were down 4-0 early to the Pirates. Came back and won against Pittsburgh 8-5. Gary locked on Pirates. Lindsay gives us a little maybe glimpse into the future because Mr. Peguero with a huge day at Coors Field. And what do the Pirates need? Bats going forward.
Game 2 to the Rockies, 8-5. All 5 runs provided. But the big bat of Leover Peguero. This is Gary from Locked On Pirates. You got to look forward to what might be here in 2026 to actually help this team, and one of those things might be Leover Peguero. It's been a long time coming for him. He hasn't gotten the opportunities that many fans have been calling for quite some time. Today in Colorado, I'll give it, it's Colorado. 3 home runs, all 5 runs driven in. That's a good thing. Paul Skeens surrenders his first 3-run homer of the season today and ended up giving up 4 runs in this one. And no shot at winning, obviously, but for once he can't blame the offense. I think they did provide 5 runs today. Leover Peguero did anyway. But that's what you got to do. Look forward to what could be here in 2026, what did well, what didn't do well. Bullpen, Braxton Ashcraft struggled, I think, to land his curveball in this atmosphere, and that was a punishment for him, I think. A lot of the young pitchers seem to learn a Colorado lesson. Let's hope that the Pirates can salvage one game of this series, but, that's not really what the rest of this season is about for Pittsburgh. It's about what are we doing for next year.
Again, Rockies come from behind. Jordan Beck, big blast 3-run shot in their 6-run 6th inning. I'm confident right now that this Rockies team isn't going to come close to 120 losses. I don't know that they get even to 110.
That's 30. That's 30 losses in the next 2 months. That kind of feels like it could happen. Although, if Warming Bernabel keeps doing what he's been doing, he's hit 7 straight games of his career. He has 7 hits in 2 games of this series. It's a little bit absurd. He had a single and 2 doubles today. He had a 4-hit day with 4 RBI on Friday. Maybe he keeps going. Curious to see what happens on Sunday.
Twins Guardians in Cleveland on Saturday. Bo Naylor breaking a 4-4 tie with an RBI double in the 8th inning. Guardians win 5-4. Guardians have won the first 2 games of the series. They've won 4 in a row overall. Jose Ramirez, Daniel Schneemann, both homering for Cleveland. Ramirez tied the game at 4-4 with a 2-out, 2-run home run. That in the 5th inning, his 22nd on the year. Twins, we know what's going on with them. It's been a rough week. They've lost 4 in a row, now 4 wins over their last 15 games. And let's get into what happened in Anaheim on Saturday night, because the White Sox, like the Marlins, I'm not buying a hat or a T-shirt for either team, but I'm excited about what they have the potential to do the rest of the way.
Yeah, 1-0 here. Aaron Savali looked really good. It feels like the issue that Chicago had was they had a bunch of young hitters that weren't really good enough yet because they weren't experienced enough, and then the pitching wasn't there. But we saw Shane Smith, Aaron Savali now. He goes 6 1/3 scoreless, doesn't give up a hit until the 4th inning. And, you can, again, just like the Marlins, you can see a path here. You can see the pitching gets a little bit better. The offense continues to develop like Miami's already has. You can see a path to them being competitive. It's just Kyle Teal was in there doing well. There's a lot of guys are starting to show up. Colson Montgomery's up now. And then they got a great save from Jordan Leisure, 1-2-3 in the 9th.
39,000 plus in Anaheim. White Sox win Saturday night 1-0. I'll take the Athletics. You take the final game of the night from Petco Park. D-backs even up the series in West Sacramento. 7-2 win against the Athletics. Ketel Marte, Alec Thomas, Corbin Carroll, all homering, all solo shots. Carroll's in the 9th inning, 22nd. Zach Gallen, 8-12 with the win. Still a member of the Diamondbacks. 6 innings, 9 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, struck out 3. And the Diamondbacks will try to take 2 of 3 from the Athletics with the finale on Sunday.
Cardinals win into San Diego, evened up the series 8-5. So it ends the Padres 6-game winning streak. The big thing here was Michael McGreevy for the Cardinals gave up 4 runs early, rebounded, went 6 total innings, struck out 4, only 1 walk. But Pedro Pages, 3-run homer, tied the game at 4. Mason Wynn had a 2 RBI, 2-run double. Ivan Herrera had picked up multiple hits here. Just the Cardinals, they didn't sell. They lost no one out of the injury. They just aren't going away. And even despite trading Helsley, Jojo Romero gave up an RBI single in the 9th, but managed to lock it down and get the save. And again, curious to see what happens on Sunday because it feels like the Cardinals could go either direction.
Hey, make sure you subscribe to the Locked On MLB YouTube channel. Hit the notification button, and with that, you're going to get alerts as to when we go live with our latest episode of MLB Game Night, which is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. For Lindsay, I'm Steve. Lindsay Crosby, I'm Steve Lenox. We'll see you soon with another edition of MLB Game Night. Every game, every night.